Alexander Kuchanovsky speaking. Good afternoon, dear colleagues and friends. Today we will be giving a presentation of our business and its digital products, as both directions have immense plans for this year that are already being implemented. So today we have a presentation depicting our two products and directions. GemSpace B2C and GemTeam B2B as given their rapid development of both of these directions. The board of directors is eager to depict their development and where each of them is headed, especially the place they occupy in the market. So let's begin the presentation of this exclusive product and reveal the unique opportunities available for investors. Firstly, I would like to mention a very recent article regarding the neural network model Perplexity, which is quite well known. They created a startup that raised $416 million. Now they are planning to raise $500 million. Overall, the worth of this startup project will then reach about $9 billion. Next, the exit from the project will happen either through a sale to a strategic buyer or through an IPO. This will make Dennis and his partner wealthy, and of course, so will be Perplexity's investors. As you can see, Sequoia Capital itself is the most famous startup investor, a very well-known fund. They participated in the startup's first investment round, as well as Amazon. I am confident that these people will earn significant and substantial returns from this startup. So why am I telling you this? We often come across information about projects that have become unicorns worth hundreds of millions. We understand that these are venture projects that succeed, and we understand how much investors roughly earn. But if you take a closer look at this list, I wish for everyone to invest in Perplexity. I also wish you could invest in WhatsApp, Instagram, Google, Uber, Facebook, and Apple. Actually, these companies once as a venture project, and the returns that investors received there were 100, 500, 1,000, even 5,000 times greater than their initial investment. This is indeed the case, and these investors have incomes roughly hundreds or even thousands of times greater, like the investors of Perplexity project. The only question is this. If you look at who invested in these projects, you won't see a single individual. Only companies and major venture investors invested in these projects. You still won't find a single private individual investor. The problem with these big global companies is always the same. No one ever invites ordinary small investors to invest their funds, and they never will. Companies like these don't invite regular small investors, whether they have $1,000, $10,000, or even $100 million. The amount of money isn't even the issue. Typically, this is a very closed market of venture private investors. For example, the most famous one is in Silicon Valley, which organizes its own clubs, communities, and conferences. That is why today I'm going to focus specifically on this notion today, because the two projects I'll be discussing today, GemSpace and GemTeam, are major, global, and highly promising projects that were built right from the start, allowing for ordinary investors to participate in them. We based our investment policy on this approach, however, like any venture project, it will eventually close and stop receiving investments. For now, investment rounds are ongoing. We know there is a final goal, and we will reach it because of the projects and what they do. To begin, the first of our projects is GemSpace. It's a single application with endless possibilities. The application includes a messenger, a wallet, and a marketplace with both global and regional features. Most importantly, it's a multifunctional, independent, and secure communication platform that includes familiar features such as group text messaging, media and file sharing, access from multiple devices and personal computers, seamless synchronization across devices, and end-to-end encryption on all platforms, essential today. Moreover, when comparing GemSpace with major, technologically advanced platforms like Telegram, WeChat, and WhatsApp, you'll see that in some areas we match, but in others, GemSpace clearly has advantages such as in group video conferencing. For example, when it comes to files, WhatsApp and WeChat have much tighter restrictions compared to the 2 GB that is offered on GemSpace. End-to-end encryption mini-app ecosystem, which essentially only exists on GemSpace and WeChat, as well as operating independently from the usual cloud services. A principal feature today. GemSpace is independent of cloud services, whereas Telegram, WhatsApp, and WeChat are completely dependent on third-party services. We regularly conduct independent valuations of our business and hold investment rounds, during which we update investors on what we've accomplished, what we plan to do, and seek new funding, just like all other venture projects do. Here are examples of Dropbox and Airbnb. Subsequent evaluations and rounds take place, continuing until the so-called exit or an IPO. This is also how investment rounds for Uber and Slack went as well. In essence, our project is also a venture project, but the difference is that we allow for private and individual investors to participate in the project. One distinctive feature of investing is that each investment round is a natural growth and progression of a company. It's positive because each new investment round signifies that the company has successfully moved past the previous phase and entered a new stage. Investors have recognized the company's achievements and are ready to purchase more shares at this next stage of the company's development. Of course, if you look at how the prices of shares have grown, our shares have been steadily increasing. The Go package was once valued at $99, and today it is €189. That is a 220% growth. Invest packages were worth $2,999. Now, €4,523, a 175% increase. This process is ongoing and will continue, as these are particularities of our business depicting our progress and growth in market value. GemSpace is a successful venture project for several reasons. Probably the main advantage of this business is that, unlike many others, it is already at the final stage. You can see what a long journey has been traveled to date. Typically, less than 1% of venture projects survive after 8 to 9 years of development for such venture projects. We have overcome all the toughest challenges on our path. Because of this, our project is unique in the market, and even today it's a profitable investment. The achievements we've made during this time are astonishing. Last week we showed the Telegram post that honestly even we were very pleasantly surprised by, because it was completely unexpected. With the exclusion of state-owned Max and VK messengers that are available in the Russian market. GemSpace was ranked as the #1 messenger out of 9 alternatives available today for users in Russia as a messenger. On the one hand, it is a great achievement. On the other, it shows that all these many years we invested were not in vain, leading us to this success and many others. Moreover, this trend of banning voice calls, like it happened in Russia, or more broadly the complete ban on certain messengers, continues worldwide and is gaining momentum. Importantly, the events that are happening especially this year, there has been a massive influx of users to GemSpace in August following the ban on voice calls in WhatsApp and Telegram. However, I want to emphasize that this trend is not limited to Russia. Total bans on messaging apps in countries like China, Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, Senegal, and Kenya exists, as well as many of these countries partly ban them too. Moreover, many other countries are also considering how to move away from global messaging apps. For example, WhatsApp or Telegram, where it is unclear where and how the data of billions of users is stored and who has access to it. WhatsApp has around 3 billion users and Telegram has close to a billion as well, but the details about data privacy remain unclear. This trend will continue, and we are simply preparing ourselves, naturally growing both organically and through purchase traffic to attract users to GemSpace. We are preparing to be ready, which is also challenging, but we got through this first major influx of users. Now we are absolutely confident that 10 million, even 50 million users will come to us, and all of them will be able to use our application smoothly. Probably the most important element of our confidence in development is that we are completing the transition to a new technological platform, which will be finished in early December. We will continue with the implementation or integration of the mini app platform into our application to attract both third-party developers companies to our GemSpace. Additionally, introduction of our PayGem wallet will lead to a sharp acceleration in financial performance and explosive growth of the audience. In other words, we now know exactly what we can achieve. Our technological infrastructure enables us to do this, and our marketing capabilities allow us to promote it globally. Another exciting achievement, if you open App Store and proceed to the social network section, you'll find quite a few different applications there. You can see that our application is ranked 29th in the social networks category. But if you closely, this top 30 list contains major applications like Facebook, apps for dating. Also, there are official government messaging services, which include Max, vKontakte, and the WhatsApp Messenger. However, if you remove everything except messengers, there are only 5 messengers in this section. Alongside Gemspace, only Signal, Telegram, WhatsApp, and WeChat. We are part of this top 5. If there were a strict messenger-only category, we would be in the top 5. But I am confident we can move further and will be in the 4, 3, and 2 ranks. In other words, we are moving in the right direction together. And once again, investors who are joining today or who have increased their portfolio are investing more in the project that is in the final stage of its development. And this trend of banning voice calls, like it happened in Russia, or more broadly, the complete ban on certain messengers, continues worldwide and is gaining momentum. Yet another advantage of our Gemspace project is its ability to become a regional, sovereign communication platform for a country or region. We've already had requests for European projects, and we have already prepared several proposals for Europe according to our approach. Therefore, our Gemspace application is promising with broad functionality. Further, we have our own in-house development team, significant global market penetration to date, featuring a unique capability for regionalization, as well as digital sovereignty. That's why today we are moving forward step by step today, and most importantly, take advantage of the opportunities given to us. Today, across the world, you can see processes unfolding where not everyone likes that governments monitor users' communications. Frankly, all chats and calls are stored somewhere far away, on servers in other countries. This makes it unclear where the data resides and is impossible to control, leading to bans. These gaps represent niches to exploit amid today's unstable world and its segmentation. These challenges and others are ongoing, and that's why we are actively pursuing them. We continuously monitor the competitive environment, as we can't just create our application in isolation from the world and competition. It exists in a competitive landscape. As Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, said that India's greatest enemy is its dependence on foreign countries. The more dependent we become on states, the harder it becomes for us to unite successfully to overcome this. This approach touches many spheres, economy and politics alike. This also applies to messaging platforms and the way people communicate. Many regions would like to have their own messenger under their control, and in fact, significant efforts have been made to create such messaging apps. There were dozens of attempts, many dozens of them. The largest efforts came from major companies like Microsoft. Google made 3 different attempts to create a messenger of their own, and Yahoo, which all tried to build their own messengers but failed. You can see these attempts documented on 2 slides showing the launch and closure dates, a huge graveyard of messaging projects. And the toughest years in this race were from 2013 up to 2020. Those were the same years we were growing, yet all these messengers ultimately failed. During that time, we survived and evolved and continue growing today. Meanwhile, during all this time, we have a real user base. Our users are in 176 countries worldwide. Our project continues to grow and expand. This is what Gemspace is, a project that today is valued at $1.6 billion as of 2024, with full legal transparency at the final stage of its development. It's a unique project on the market with investment accessibility for ordinary investors. However, no project lasts indefinitely. The very essence of a venture project is that at some point there's an exit, usually through a sale to a strategic buyer or an IPO. And with that, the journey of ordinary investors comes to an end and they receive their shareholder income. And now Gem Team is our second product, designed exclusively for companies and government agencies that address the most pressing issues of modern day, protection of continuous business data and the company's reputation, especially for those who dislike when their employees communicate in third-party messengers or other social medias. Thus, Gem Team provides such companies and entities with their own secure and closed-loop communication platform. From the economic perspective, while GemSpace's economic model is strategic sale to one buyer, GemTeam is a capital-intensive product featuring scalable business models and recurring sales. GemTeam utilizes the model of SaaS companies, software as a service, where the software is not a traditional product that you buy and install on time. Instead, software as a service is a sales model in which the software is hosted by the provider, usually on their own cloud server, and is made available to users via a recurring subscription. In other words, clients don't purchase the software outright. Instead, they buy a subscription for a set period, usually a year or sometimes less, and use the service while the provider manages the application, infrastructure, maintenance, and updates. At the same time, shareholders who own shares of GemTeam receives recurring dividends on a continuous basis as more and more licenses are being utilized. Companies like Zoom, Atlassian, Microsoft Teams, and Palantir, these companies, having created their products, reach multi-billion-dollar valuations and operate in the B2B business services market. This is extremely important. Why? Because, as mentioned, we have two products, including our flagship GemSpace project, and we understand that to develop GemSpace more efficiently, we needed support products that we could also develop and sell continuously across different parts of the world. We accurately identified its market niche following certain global events that increased demand precisely for secure B2B platforms for communication. GemTeam is a fully secured communication that ensures the sovereignty, resilience of data, and continuation of operations for any enterprise or government agency. Importantly, our competition in this sector is much different. This breakdown showing what sets us apart compared to other products for companies like Microsoft Teams or Google Meet and others. First and foremost, and most importantly, GemTeam provides personalization on demand. We don't just present these boxed solutions. Instead, we assist our clients in tailoring solutions to their specific needs, adding the necessary functionality they seek. These services are very much in demand because most clients need more than just a standard application tailored specifically to their operations. Once again, GemTeam offers the maximum number of participants in a video conference is 300 people, unlike other providers where it ranges. We have free support and so on. Overall, our application and solution offer many competitive advantages. Accordingly, GemTeam can be used not only by small, medium-sized, and general private sector companies, but also by and strategic sectors and government institutions. Whether government institutions of the Ministry of Security Services, medical services, pharmaceutical companies, telecommunications providers, financial institutions, insurance and investment firms, or enterprises undergoing digital transformation, the protection of their data is especially important. GemTeam provides numerous advantages for our clients. The crucial aspect of modern day is digital technological sovereignty, an extremely important issue specifically related to modern digital life. Today, people face digital addiction, credit slavery, many other forms of dependency. They seem to live in their own homes, but actually exist on a higher level of dependence. Within the framework of societal and economic development. Therefore, we sell our platform to provide organizations that purchase our technology with sovereignty and independence. Secondly, we have a very flexible microservice architecture, which our head of development has described just last week. We can now confidently say that we can meet the needs of any client entity because our entire platform is built on modular microservices. This allows us to tailor products specifically for each client. At the same time, there are advantages for the investors. We don't just sell a single product. We create a long-term product with recurring licenses sold. This approach provides not only immediate revenue, but also ongoing license payments over time. We have a 1 to 10 year licensing model built on B2B and B2G, which generates predictable cash flow as we are aiming for high margins. Having predictable cash flow allows us to post stable growth and reliable forecasting. Instead of creating a new product every time, we focus on scalability and specialization for different countries or clients, which is also an advantage. History of companies like Zoom and Palantir shows that solving a critical communication problem for a company or organization creates very high capitalization value. We already sold our first GEM team license and have allocated the funds to shareholders and its continuous promotion, with more licenses to be finalized this year. In short, we are building resilient communication platforms granting sovereignty for the future. Our team works in Qatar, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, and Europe. Importantly, it is necessary to the GEM team project will not require constant funding. The number of shares is limited. At a certain stage, when many licenses are sold over time, the shares will stop being sold. We will then develop rapidly and dynamically moving forward. I believe our global reach, sovereignty, neutrality, and technological flexibility is what is currently leading us to strong, successful localized achievements. In conclusion, GEM Space and GEM Team are two unique projects, products that exist and are operational today, available for those who understand the potential of participating in global venture projects, but don't have any viable chances to participate in their financing. The advantage of the current situation is the opportunity to participate in two projects simultaneously. Thank you very much for your attention, and we hope this presentation helps you in your understanding and future work. With that, I now hand the floor to Valery Yostrikov, a distinguished member of the Board of Directors of GEMSpace Group of Companies.